well, the Maroons have gone back to back for State of Origin. They've claimed both 2022 and our 2023 series, and yeah, that's huge. So it's obviously disheartening for any New South Welshman to see, any Blue supporter to see that, but I can't say I wasn't surprised, to be honest, because I called this on Monday. On Monday, on my preview, I was like, with the amount of changes the Blues are making and all the panic moves they're doing and the decisions that Freddie was making, it gave me no confidence coming into this game. And I was always worried that, this wouldn't go away and this would, unfortunately fall in the hands of another Queensland victory in Game 2. Which that happened. So, it's disappointing, obviously, because, obviously as a Blues fan, I would have loved to see a win, but, Queensland, they play a lot better, and they've obviously got a lot more going for them, and they had a fair win, so that's fair play to them, and they were obviously the better start across the series. So, it is what it is, and I told you so. Mitchell Moses is a failure. I told you so. Everyone was like, Moses the saviour. Moses is the one that will take the Blues to victory and he'll lead at the state of New South Wales to the 2023 series. Full fucking shit. Did nothing. He does nothing. Maybe it's not all his fault tonight, and it wasn't, but he's not the player that takes players or any club to a big game moment. He's not that type of player. He doesn't take clubs to big moments. Like, if it wasn't for that forward pass he did in the prelim last year against the Cowboys, I guarantee no one would be saying that he is a leader that takes clubs to grand finals and big moments, because he's a failure. He's fails just as more as Cleary does in Origin in general. And, obviously my hate for Moses is very, very obvious. I never liked Moses, but you know what? He's flopped again, and I can't say I'm shocked about that. So Moses, you're a failure, mate, and you've yet again disrespected, and you've played disgustingly awful for the state of New South Wales yet again. You, mate, you don't deserve to don the blue, and yeah, you don't deserve to wear the sky blue again, because he yet again failed. And I said this all the time, and obviously, yes, I hate Moses as a player, but I knew from the get-go he wouldn't be good for Origin. So, to anyone that was defending Moses, saying that he'd be the Messiah or the prodigal son to take the Blues to victory, well, you now know where I come from for where I say he's a failure, because doesn't live up in big games. Game 3 2021 was enough to tell me that he's not a big game player, and yet again he's proving to be a failure in another big moment. So, not too shocked about that one. And obviously, I back New South Wales, but I don't back Moses and that decision to play him, because Freddie should have picked Reynolds, I reckon. I wouldn't have minded Hines, because Hines has been in the squad, and Hines has actually been there, and he's gone through from game one, from the other times that he's been in the squad. He's not a newbie like Moses, not a newbie. So he'd have an understanding of what was happening in the squad and what they've been training to, I guess, push towards. But Moses is just, it wasn't all his fault, obviously, but he played shit. He's the halfback. The halfback is the most dominant role in the field. I believe that anyway, and he failed. So it is what it is. People will come and have a cry now. Well, that's your halfback failing yet again in another big game. So if you want more evidence, I can tell you more, but that should be enough to shut the people up. But look, other than that, the Maroons were too good. Obviously, they continue what they did in game 1. Their attack is still, their attack's too quick and it's very fluent, and we found it very hard to defend. Now, I know it was never ideal having Cook in the centres, because unfortunately poor Tommy Turbo, yet again, gone for another injury. This time to pec. So, yeah, I don't think he'll be back for the year, but, it is what it is. Not like Manly were contending for a premiership anyway, as much as I like to say we were. But, yeah, but it wasn't ideal having Cook defending out in the centres. So, obviously, I can cut some slack for Cook, because, obviously, centre is not his natural position one bit. Don't believe he's ever played there, so it'd be very hard for any hooker to defend out there, right? But he didn't do a bad job. He scored a try, and, he tried hard, but his defence was obviously caught out with Adokar as well. I mean, Addo Carr was no better than Cook in defence, but that's what happens when you, I guess, lose a player like Turbo who plays in the outside backs. It's not very easy to replace in an Origin arena, especially. But yeah, but just looking at from the get-go, Queensland looked like they had more energy. They were going more with the flow. At Suncorp Stadium, I knew from playing in Brisbane at home, they would not want to bottle that game at Suncorp, which they didn't, and they would want to have a big performance. So that's why I was like, I wasn't confident in Blues because of that reason, being at Suncorp Stadium, and because Queensland would use the home advantage as such a push towards the win tonight. So, yeah, obviously we had to be at our A game and stuff like that. But, yeah, we weren't. And clearly Freddie's gone now. So, I hope Freddie's packing his bags tonight on the way back to Sydney. But you might as well leave him at Brisbane Airport because I don't think the state wants to see his face and doesn't want to, I guess, welcome him back. And as they shouldn't, because he's made some really weird calls in the team. And he's a joke himself as well, so he's another failure. So piss Freddie off, and I don't want to see him again. But yeah, look, we need a new coach, and we also need some better players with more heart. Because I look at Queensland, right? I look at Queensland. Some of Queensland's players play with absolute pride and heart, and they actually care about the state, and you can tell what players give it a go and who doesn't. So guys like Cherry Evans, Walsh, Munster, Grant, Carrigan, Collins tonight was fantastic. They all give 110%. Not 100%, 110%. And that's because they're playing for the state and they actually love this state and they want to, it means a lot to them. But for the Blues, I think there's too many players in there that only want to play for their club. Which, yeah, play for your club, that's a big one. But if you're playing for your state, that's just as big in my opinion. So yet again, I think there's some players like Luai. I don't think he should play again, to be honest. I know he was good in game one, but clearly he thinks it's all a joke. Clearly he thinks it's, all a fantasy world playing in Origin and doesn't really take it seriously. You look at players like Laurie Daly, Joey Johns, and these were players that had heart and they wore blue on their sleeves. They play with passion. And I don't think Luai is a guy that really is a player that just overall cares. I he tries, but I don't think he has that extra heart that other great New South Wales halves have had. So, I don't think Luai. I think Luai tries to be Superman too much. He tries to be that main character and everything when he doesn't have to be. So, if you're gonna be like that, then that's your arrogance is gonna not fit in an Origin arena. So yeah, fuck him off. Yeah, but there's a few players that I think need to go. Like Moses needs to go. He's a failure, and I've already explained myself that many times. It's ridiculous. Look, Reece Robson on the debut wasn't great, but he tried hard. But yeah, look, it's not easy for any debutant to debut at Suncorp Stadium where the Maroons are in form, right? So I'll cut Reece Robson some slack as well. But yet again, the forwards got rolled through the middle. I thought the forwards were just not all there. I think Teddy was a bit quiet again. Like, he tried Teddy, but I don't think his impact was enough, unfortunately. But, I don't know. I think Queensland just played too good. I think Queensland just played with a better structure, a better game plan, which Freddie does not implement into a Blues team very well. And, yeah, Billy Slater's just coaching the team right. He knows what he's doing. And, yeah, you can tell by how the players are playing and they know what they're doing. And, Slater gives them clear direction on how to play, and yeah, that benefits them on the field. So yet again, the Blues fail, and yeah, got to bounce back next year, and hopefully with some actual better changes right throughout the squad and the coach too. I'll go through my top 3 players on ground now. So I'll go from 3 to 1. So number 3, I'll give it to Harry Grant. I think Harry Grant's efforts tonight were fantastic. He played really well in the middle, and he showed true heart for the state. Like, his defence in the middle was incredible. I think part of the reason why Ben Hunt stayed on the bench for so long is because Grant's defence in the middle and the way he was tackling and his running game was dangerous too. That was really a strong point of his game. So yeah, I think he gets a mention for mine. Number 2, I will have to give it to probably Daly Cherry Evans. I think Ches was fantastic for the Maroons. His chase on Stephen Crichton was absolutely incredible. That was an insane chase. And that's what, I guess, a good captain does. And that's what a real halfback does as well. So, He played well chess. That's a typical captain's knock by him, and yep, he is a top 3 player on ground for me. And my man of the match, well, it's a toss-up between 2 players, but I will go Reece Walsh for my man of the match. I think Walsh is, this is probably one of the best debutants in an Origin arena I can remember. Back in 2021, he was that close to playing. He was that close to playing, but I wouldn't have thought he'd be ready that early anyway. But now he's debuted in game 1 and has played game 2. Yeah, it seems like Origin's really made for him, and he seems to really be relishing every moment he does get to play in that Maroons jumper. So yeah, he was awesome tonight, and unfortunately from game 1, the Blues didn't handle him there, and they didn't handle him well again. So it is what it is. But that's my top 3 players on ground, and that's my review wrapped up right there. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are a new viewer watching right now, and comment your thoughts on the game in the comment section down below. But yeah, sound nice to be a New South Wales fan, but hey, 2024, let's just hope that's a better result. But yeah, we need some changes, and that's pretty clear. But thank you for watching. See you for game 3, I guess. On for another injury. This time's a pec. So